So this is, pure consciousness, pure Sakshi, Kutastha, pure Brahman, etc. We will not be there. And all these living beings are there definitely. Well, Jivas are there. Also, the Brahman or Kutastha is right there. So Vidyaranya says whenever, that is the meaning of the word Aham. Aham includes both. Reflected consciousness plus consciousness. So Vidyaranya says whenever I talk about this myself, it can be either of this. It can refer to this Jiva or it can refer to this Brahman. So in case of a person who doesn't know that he is a Brahman, he doesn't know that he is a mixture, right? If I say I am a Jiva due to ignorance, means I don't know that I am a mixture. Very first thing is, and because mixture is there all the time, but I don't know. And Jnani knows the mixture. Jnani knows there are two things. So Ahankara is there and Kutastha also is there. And so sometime he refers, we are going to see that. Sometime he refers to Ahankara, sometime he refers to Sakshi. When he says in a class that I am Brahman, then he is using word Aham for Brahman, Kutastha, Sakshi. And when he says, I am teaching you this much and I am going to India, all that. So definitely he is referring that same Aham, I, he refers to as a Ahankara, Jiva. So because he knows the mixture, he can use. He is very flexible. In Vyavara, he is going to explain that. So in Vyavara, he will use with, he says, I am a Jiva, like that. He knows it is a mixture and the Jiva is Mithya. Everything he knows. Once you know it's a mixture, it's a Satya Mithya mixture. Nothing else. What kind of a mixture, right? Jiva is a Mithya and Kutastha is or a Sakshi is Satyam. But this Ajnani doesn't know and takes that Jiva as a reality or Ahankara as a reality. Because he doesn't know it's a mixture. And that is the criteria. So, Ajnani, all the time refers to himself as a Jiva. That's how he says, I am a limited conscious being, etc. So, that's what Vidyaranya says, Brahmamsham avalambate. So, basically this Ajnani all the time avalambate refers to Brahmamsha. Actually, it's a Brahma. Out of the mixture, one Amsha is a Brahma, Mithya. And that is Jiva. So, this Ajnani all the time refers to avalambate. Refers to this Jiva only. Because he doesn't know it's a mixture. If he knows a mixture, he knows it is Satya Mithya mixture. That is what the Viveka is. Jnani is a Viveki. Viveka between what and what? Viveka in the mixture as this is Satyam, this is Mithya. So he knows it is a mixture and he also knows what is Satyam, what is Mithya. Ajnani doesn't know at all that it is a mixture. So there is a question of taking Satya Mithya, etc. Satya Mithya, he doesn't know the mixture at all. And so Ajnani refers to, all the time refers to Brahma Amsha. Even though it's a mixture only, but he refers to, because reflected consciousness is there, but he doesn't know. He takes that Jiva Amsha or Mithya Amsha as a reality. That's a difference between them. In 8th verse, Vidyaranya refers to, of course, a Jnani, knowing two Amshas clearly, and he knows also what is Satyam, what is Mithya. And he deliberately then discounts, because being Mithya, he discounts this Jivatvam or Ahankara. So they say, so Jnani does a Tiraskara. Tiraskara means falsification, not Tiraskara means hating or something, or pushing away, etc. So he knows it is Mithya. Jivatvam or Ahankara is Mithya. So Jnani does a Tiraskara of this Brahmamsha. He refers to original Amsha. That is refers to Brahman. And when I do this Tiraskara of, this Ahankara, I have to use Ahankara only. There is no way. There is no way. Because when you say, I am Brahman, so definitely that Ahankara only says. And therefore, when he says, I am Brahman, he has falsified Ahankara with the help of Ahankara. That's how it is. We are going to see that So, ignoring this, ignoring this ahankara, I have to use, to ignore that ahankara itself, I have to use ahankara only. It's a falsification. It's not a total non-existent kind of thing. Mithya means it is experiential, will be there. Seeming existence will be there. And so that is how he refers to this consciousness or a kutastha. He says, I am a kutastha. Using ahankara, he says, I am a kutastha. I am kutastha, he says, I am kutastha. That's in the form of a vritti only, of course. So ahankara is there, but he knows ahankara is, he has falsified ahankara. That's called bhagatyaga lakshana. That's what it is. Always it is a mixture. But then I will not take that out of the mixture, that Brahmamsha I will discount. And so Jnani definitely does not talk about this Shraddha Tarpana and this travel going to other loka, and does not talk about Janma Mrityu, does not talk about Punya Papa, does not talk about doership, enjoyership. All this, he knows all these things refer to Ahankara, which is false. So, in that Vaititya Prakranam, in verse number 32, very beautifully Gaudapadacharya ji says, Na nirodho na cha utpattihi, na baddho na cha sadakaha, na muktaha na mumukshuhu na vai muktaha, ityesha paramarthata. So, na baddha. There is nothing called a bound person. There is nothing called a bondage. There is nothing called a liberation. There is nothing called a mumukshu, one who wants liberation. And there is nothing called a mukta purusha also. There is nothing called a wise person also. Ultimately, all this is at the level of ahankara only. So Vidyaranya says, tada, so in verse number 8, he says, tada means when knowledge takes place, jnana kale, when jiva will know aham brahmasmi, adhishthana pradhanta bhavati. There will be a predominance, prominence of adhishthana, prominence of the satyamsha, prominence of a kutastha, etc. Verse number 9. Nasange ahankriti yukta kathamasmiti chetshunu eko mukhyo dvava ityarthastrividho ahamaha. So, now an important question is asked by Purupakshi, very beautiful question. He says, who says this aham brahmasmi is a statement by whom? That's the question. Statement by Chidabhasa or statement by Kutastha? Who says this aham brahmasmi? That's this kind of question is asked in a satsang so many times. So, does Chidabhasa says this, that I am Brahman, or does this Kutastha says this, I am a Brahman? Or that's what it is. So, either way it is a problem. Why? Because Chidabhasa is a Pramata, knower. So, we feel that the knower will gain the knowledge, self-knowledge, and he will tell, right, that I am Brahman. Appears true, but we have to modify this statement. So, Chidabhasa is a Pramata, and Chidabhasa must know this Aham as a Brahman. That is true. But Chidabhasa cannot say Aham Brahmasmi. Why? Because being Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa is never Brahman. Chidabhasa, what is Brahman? Brahman which is all pervading. And Chidabhasa is never all pervading. Chidabhasa is as big as the reflecting medium. And therefore, any reflection cannot go beyond the medium. And therefore, Chidabhasa maximum pervades this body. So, Chidabhasa cannot say, I am Brahman. I am all pervading. It cannot say. It is a very limited entity. So, it can't this Chidabhasa here cannot pervade your body also. Right? So, even though I experience your body in form of knowing, in form of seeing, etc. But I can't pervade entire your body. You may have a backache, or you may have a knee pain, or you may have a headache. I don't know that. So, but you as a Chidabhasa well, no, your body some pain or anything. So therefore, Chidabhasa cannot pervade even the other body which is in front. Even Chidabhasa cannot pervade the hair. If Chidabhasa pervades the hair, whenever a person goes to a barber shop, really when the person cuts the hair, this person will scream. Like Chidabhasa pervades this part. Now if you do an injury, in my hand, well, I will immediately scream. But if you put a cut here, then I will definitely shout. But if you cut here, nothing. Not even nail also. Right? Nail also. Chidabhasa does not pervade the nail. Chidabhasa does not pervade even hair. That's how we are able to cut. You cannot cut your hand or leg, but you can definitely cut your you cannot cut your finger, but you can definitely cut the nail. Why? There is no pain. Chidabhasa does not pervade. Chit is all pervading. Chit is there. In fact, the very appearance and the existence of a nail is due to Chit. But Chidabhasa does not pervade. So that shows Chidabhasa is a limited entity. Even in his body, it doesn't pervade totally. It excludes a nail and hair. Therefore, Chidabhasa cannot say, I am Brahman. That's what I mean. So, what you are going to prove? I am going to prove it requires a mixture. That's all. That's all I am going to say. Don't worry. Where he is leading, I don't know. I am saying pure Chidabhasa cannot say I am Brahman. Because Chidabhasa knows he is a limited entity. Anyway, so definitely it cannot, it cannot say Aham Brahmasmi. Okay, then, this Chit cannot claim I am Chit, or the Kutastha cannot claim I am Brahman. Even though Chit is Brahman or Kutastha is Brahman, but Chit cannot say that. Chit is not a Pramata, Chit is not a speaker, Chit is not a, or Kutastha is not a Pramata, Kutastha is not a Vakta, Kutastha is not a speaker, Kutastha is not a thinker. Well, and therefore Kutastha also cannot say I am Brahman. Kutastha cannot say anything, including Aham Brahmasmi. Kutastha can't say anything. To say you need some organ. To think that I am Brahman also you need a mind. Kutastha is what? Which is all pervading. All pervading means what? All pervading means all pervading. Yeah, all pervading means there is nothing other than Kutastha. Then there is a question of a mind, this Karana also. Kutastha is devoid of everything. Ekam eva dvitiyam. Ekam eva dvitiyam. One and only one. Nothing other than that. And therefore, basically, Kutastha cannot say that I am Brahman. So, and Kutastha need not say also. One who experiences samsara, well, will say I am now Brahman, I am asamsari. He Kutastha need not even say I am a Brahman. Chidabhasa can say many things. And that's how it does. Chidabhasa says many things. Kutastha is ever silence. Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtham, Manyante, Sa Atma, Savigneha. Right? In Mandukya it says Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. Shantam, always it is silence. It cannot think, it cannot talk, it cannot do anything. There is nothing other than that. Anyway, so Kutastha cannot say I am Kutastha or Brahman. Chidabhasa, pure Chidabhasa cannot say I am Brahman, Kutastha, because being limited. Then who says I am Brahmasmi? Mixture. Mixture says that. This is a beautiful thing. We always feel, when will I know Brahman? When will I know Brahman? You are all the time Brahman. When you say I am a jiva, I am an individual, very basis of the individuality, ahankara is Brahman. And it's a common sense. A all-pervading thing pervades me also. Even ahankara. Me means the ahankara. A very aham thought itself is pervaded by that. Only thing is one should know that that's a reality. First thing is we should know it's a mixture. And second thing is, well, in the mixture, one is the reality. Kutastha is the reality. And this aham Ahankara, etc. is not a reality. Even though it is, when I say aham, both are referred, because being a mixture, aham is referring to both, but then, in that one is a satyamsha, there is a mithyamsha. That vivek abhava is there in a jnani. Vivek jnanam is there in a jnani. Jnani has a jnanam that there is a vivek jnanam. There is no other jnanam. There is no other jnanam. Only vivek jnanam. We all the time vivek chudamani. Vivek chudamani means the best discrimination is what? Between ahankara and sakshi or kutastha or brahman. That's all. Because it's a mixture. You should know it's a mixture. Mithya cannot exist independent of Satyam. In fact, Mithya is Satyam. That's how Puja Swami says. Mithya is Satyam. Pot is clay. Wave is water. Ornament is gold. Mithya is Satyam. When Mithya is Satyam, when you say, definitely wherever the Mithya is, Satyam must be there. Otherwise, how will you say Mithya is Satyam? Satyam must be there at the basis. So it's a mixture. All the time mixture. The very I is a mixture. And therefore, aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman also is told by mixture only. And I am Jiva, mixture. Then why he says I am Jiva? He doesn't know me, it is a mixture. He doesn't know, he has not done pruthakkaranam. He has not done that viveka. And therefore, for him both are one. That's what the adhyasa is. Both are one. Atma and Atma adhyasa is there. So that is what the tadatmya adhyasa is. Identification between Atma and Anatma. That is done through the link called ahankara. Ahankara is a bodhamsha. Anatmamsha also is there. Atmamsha is there. Ahankara is chetana. Atmamsha. Ahankara is a thought. Ahamvritti. Antakarana. Anatma. And therefore, definitely ahankara is a link between Atma and Anatma. If ahankara is not there, where is adhyasa? Where is adhyasa? In Sushupti there is no adhyasa. So ahankara resolves. If ahankara resolves, there is no adhyasa. When you wake up, you say, I am a waker now. Over. Adhyasa. This is how it is. Ahankara is called granthi. That's how ahankara is a granthi. And then other things also we say. I am a human being, I am this. This is all part of ahankara. Because ahankara pervades from the subtle body to the gross body, everything, and says, I am a human being, I am a sannyasi, I am a male, this, that, all then granthis. Vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Well, definitely one who knows that one is a reality out of this. Vidyante, hridaya granthi, all the granthis, all these knots, all these various notions regarding the self, vidyante, they are destroyed in light of this knowledge. Anyway, so aham brahmasmi also is told by the mixture only. That's what we are answering to that person. He asked that who says aham brahmasmi? Chidabhasa cannot say and Kutastha cannot say, etc. Then who says? Like that he was asking. We said the mixture says. And it is mixture all the time. And it is mixture for everybody. Jnani, Ajnani, for everybody it is a mixture. One knows it is a mixture of a Satyamithya. Other doesn't know it's a mixture. That's all it is. That's the difference between the two. Anyway, and not only that, in all avasthas, yeah, it's a mixture for all, in all avasthas. In all avastha, it's a mixture, yeah. In all avastha, it's a mixture. In Jagrat also, it is a mixture. In Sapnavastha also, it is a mixture. In a Sushupti also, it's a mixture. Yeah, but Ahankara is it's unmanifest. That's how. But it is there. Because Karana Sharira is there, Upadhi is there, and therefore identification will be there. With that Anatma Karana Sharira will be there. We call it Prajna. Right? Vishwa Taijasa Prajna. So Prajna of that Ahankara exists. Unmanifest. So what? But it is there. But the only thing is in Sushupti, there is out of this mixture, there is a prominence of a Chit. Yeah. Because that is, Ahankara is unmanifest. And therefore, we say Chit Pradhanavastha, we can say. Yeah. Whereas in a Jagrata Avastha and a Sapna Avastha, there is a prominence of a Chidabhasa. Aham, very Aham is present. There the Aham is resolved, unmanifest. That's all. It is there. Because Ajnanam is there. So identification will be there. Means Ahankara will be there. Definitely. But unmanifest. Less prominent. Whereas in the mixture, in Jagrata and Swapna Avastha, out of the mixture, Chidavasa Pradhana is there. In Sushupti, in the mixture, Chit Pradhana is there. Chidavasa is unmanifest. That's the difference. Anyway, in no avastha, for anybody, Jnani, Ajnani, for anybody, pure Kutastha, pure Sakshi, pure I am, pure Brahman doesn't exist. But then you are saying Ekameva Advitiyam means it is pure. Yeah, but you should know it is other than that. Everything is mithya. What you experience is mithya, you should know. And when you say it is mithya, you will immediately understood there itself what is Satyam. That's how. There itself you will understand. When you say Jiva is mithya, Ahankara is mithya, means something else is there which is the basis of that mithya is real. So when you say Ahankara is mithya, definitely you have taken yourself as a Kutastha or a Sakshi. That's a reality. And therefore, basically, in no avastha, this pure Kutastha exists. So, mixture alone claims Aham Brahmasmi. Okay. Then the next question is, how can mixture claim Aham Brahmasmi? He is asking a question. How can you say like that? That a mixture says Aham Brahmasmi. How can you say that? Because in a mixture, one part is Brahman, other part is not Brahman. One part is Atma, other part is not Atma, Anatma it is. So, well, how can you say Aham Brahmasmi? You say mixture says Aham Brahmasmi, but in a mixture, one part is not a Brahman. He says like that. Well, Vidyaranya says the question should not come. And you see now how he explains this. He says, one who says, I am Brahman, that I is a mixture I am telling you, and this Aham word, I, well, can have three different meanings according to the context. And then he explains this. First thing is, he says, first meaning of this word Aham or I is a mixture itself. Mixture of both. And here, Chidabhasa, Chit or Ahankara, Sakshi, Ahankara, Kutastha, etc. That's a mixture. Second is the meaning of the word Aham is second meaning. You out of this mixture, you refer to Chidabhasa only as Aham, I. By Bhagatyaga Lakshana. You avoid. You ignore basically Chit. You ignore Kutastha and you take Chidabhasa out of the mixture as Aham. That's the second. And third meaning of word Aham is you refer to Kutastha. There again Bhagatyaga Lakshana. You basically ignore Chidabhasa. Set aside Chidabhasa from the mixture. So three things are there. For word Aham can be used in three sense. The word Aham is referred as a mixture. Word Aham is referred as a Chidabhasa. Or word Aham is referred as a Chit or Kutastha. Second and third meaning, when you refer word Aham as a Chidabhasa or you refer word Aham as a Kutastha, well, definitely they are secondary meanings of the word Aham. And whereas you refer to mixture, that's a primary meaning of word Aham. That's what he is going to explain now. That's a line of discussion now. So second and third meaning are second and third meaning are secondary meanings, and both arrived by Bhagatyaga Lakshana, because out of the mixture you refer to Chidabhasa means you have ignored the Kutastha or Chit. And when you referred Chit by the word Aham, definitely you have ignored that Chidabhasa. So this is how you do. And this is a secondary meaning. By you are getting through Lakshana. Why Swamiji called secondary? Because it is Lakshana. Primary meaning means basically what appears immediately. what appears for everyone, what is most common. That's the primary meaning. That's what it is actually. Word aham is a mixture for every one of us. When I say I, is always a mixture. I do not know, that is the issue here. But Jnani knows the mixture. And so he does a Bhagatyaga Lakshana from the primary meaning. Out of the mixture he refers sometime by Chidabhasa. Sometime he refers to Kutastha in different situation. So he is doing a Bhagatyaga Lakshana and getting the meaning of the word aham. So we call it as a secondary. Lakshyartha is always a secondary. Vachyartha is always a primary. It's a direct meaning. You and me, everyone is using word aham. I. And it is always a mixture. I do not know. That is the thing. It's a mixture. I do not know. Clear? So word aham has a 3 meanings. So he is going to explain that in a reply to the question. What was the question? Well, that aham brahmasmi is a mixture. And in the mixture, definitely, there are 2 parts. One is Brahman, other is not Brahman. One is Kutastha, other is Ahankara. And therefore, out of mixture, you say, mixture says aham brahmasmi. But in a mixture, one is not Brahman, one part. Still he says, I am Brahman. How it is possible? Like that question. So he says what aham has a 3 meaning. First is the primary meaning, refers to mixture. And the other 2 meanings are Chidabhasa or Chit. That's a secondary meaning through Lakshana. Which Lakshana? Bhagatyaga. Bhagasya tyaga. Out of the mixture, bhaga, one part. Tyaga. You keep away. That's all. That's how it is. Now, look at the shloka. This is, I just, what I explained now, it will be there in the following shlokas. See, he says, Asange ahankritihi naiva yukta. That's a question. Purvapakshi's question first we have to refer. So, asange ahankritihi naiva yukta. Ahankritihi, aham, word aham, cannot refer to asanga. Kutastha Chaitanya. Word aham cannot refer to naiva yukta. Word the aham is not proper for this Kutastha Chaitanya. Why he says like that? Because this is a statement made by this Chidabhasa only, right? It has capacity to say I. So I can refer to, well, Chidabhasa only. So Asanga means Asanga Chaitanya. Asanga Chaitanya, Vishaya Saptami, Asanga Vishaya. You can say with respect to this Asanga Atma, well, definitely, this to use word aham for Asanga Chaitanya is illogical. So, naturally, because word aham should refer to Chidabhasa only, Kutastha cannot have aham, etc. That's what he said, it is not proper, it is illogical to use word aham for Kutastha. Then it says, Katham asmi iti chet. Still it's a question up to chet. Katham asmi means Katham Kutastha aham asmi. How can a person say I am Kutastha Chaitanya? He is explaining why I am saying that word aham cannot be used with Kutastha. Because how a Kutastha can say that aham Kutastha? Definitely it cannot say. Kutastha cannot say anything. To say, right? Kutastha cannot say I am Kutastha. Kutastha has no words to say. Kutastha has no indriya to say. And therefore, basically, it cannot say anything. And therefore, he is right. Asanga Vishaye, aham, word, naiva yukta. It's not proper that word I can go with Kutastha. Because Kutastha cannot use the word aham. Okay. So, up to this is say Purvapaksha. Iti chet. Vidyaranya says, if that is your question, well, you say mixture says aham brahmasmi, etc. But that Brahman or Kutastha, etc. cannot say I am. And therefore, that is not proper. A student is asking question. Then Vidyaranya says, well, I will give you an answer. He says what? See in the second line. Ahamaha trivido arthaha. Ahamaha. Of the word aham. There is a very, very particular usage. You know, ahamaha is the 6th case of word aham. It is like that. 6th case, singular. So, as if you are declining the word aham. Actually, aham comes from the word asmat. But here, word aham itself, he has, declined. It is declined by him. So, aham, sixth case of word aham is ahamaha. Means of the word aham, trividoha or trividaha arthaha. I have already explained you. For the word aham, there are three meanings, he says. Ekaha mukhyaha. Well, one is a primary meaning, vachyartha, direct meaning. Dvau amukhyau, whereas two secondary meanings are there. Secondary meanings means lakshartha. Which lakshana he has done? Bhagatyag lakshana. So, now we should find out what is the primary meaning of word aham, what are the secondary meanings of the word aham, and how they are employed, etc. In which situation primary meaning is employed, in which situation secondary meaning is employed, and what is the context, in which different meanings of the word are employed. Well, we have to see now. So this part he now elaborates. See the word, the verse 10. अन्योन्याध्यासरूपेण कूटस्थाभासयोर्वपुः एकीभूय भवेन्मुख्यः तत्र मूढैः प्रयुज्यते. So, first he defines a primary meaning of the word aham. Primary meaning refers to the mixture. He is going to explain that in this verse number 10. What he says, Kutastha abhasayoho vapuhu. The vapuhu, nature. We have seen also day before yesterday, chid vapuhu. Atma is chid vapuhu. Atma is, vapu means a body. Chid vapuhu, body of consciousness. Means Atma is of the nature of consciousness. We have to take it, vapuhu is equal to nature, swarupam. So, Kutastha abhasayoho vapuhu. The nature of this reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa, and Kutastha, consciousness, well, the nature of this, Eki Bhuya, they are mixed together. These two are mixed together. How do you mix together? Anyonya Adhyasa Rupena. So, this Chidabhasa and Kutastha, we are going to ascertain the nature of this mixture. Well, Eki Bhuya, because they are mixed together. And how they are mixed? Because of the mutual transfer of attributes. Anyonya Adhyasa Rupena. By mutual transference of attributes. Not knowing that there are two things, well, because of the ignorance, well, not knowing that there are two things actually, Kutastha and Chidabhasa. One is Mithya, one is Satyam. One is a Jadam, one is a sentient, etc. And one is a limited, other is all-pervading. All these things are not known. And therefore, Eki Bhuya, they are mixed together. Even though there are two things, but they are as though mixed together. How they are mixed together? Really, physically they are mixed? No. Anyonya Adhyasa Rupena. By mutually transferring the attributes on each other. Now they have become one entity. So, not knowing that there are two things because of ignorance, they are combined and made one. Like, this is exactly like, I gave that example also, like an ignorant person, when he says this is snake, when he refers, suppose a snake alone is there, not a mixture, suppose, and he says this is snake, it is not a Brahma. But instead of the snake, a living entity, if it is a rope snake, and he says this is a snake, definitely, even though it is a mixture of a rope and snake, he takes it as a one entity called snake. That's Adhyasa. Attributes of the snake are superimposed upon rope, and attributes of rope are superimposed upon the snake. Right? So, attributes of the snake. What are the attributes? We can just count on our own. A living being, conscious being, let us say. And then a poisonous character. So that's its attribute. All these are superimposed upon rope only, and the length and the curvature, etc., all belongs to rope, are superimposed upon snake. So, anyonya adhyasa rupena. When mutual transference of attributes takes place, well, definitely they are mixed. And now, after mixing, for that person, there are no two things. That Satyam rope and Mithya snake is not there. He says this is snake. Instead of a mixture, well, he says this is just a snake. Actually, reality of the rope, that's another attribute. Reality of the rope, it transferred to the snake. Snake has no reality, you know very well. So, reality attribute, real rope, that reality attribute is transferred to the snake. And now snake becomes real. And rope has gone. Rope, for him, there is no rope at all. So, this is how it is. So, this is, and why does he do that? Ignorant. Ignorant person does all this job. Mixing two things and by transferring attributes of each other, definitely. When he does it, when he transfers attributes of one to the other, itself proves that he doesn't know there are two. Really. Anyway, so this is how he says here, real rope and mithya snake are mixed. So there are two things, well, is only known by a wise person. Yeah, there is a wise person there also. He says, what are you saying? This snake is a mithya, rope is satyam. Okay, one who makes this statement is a wise person. So the same way, one who says Brahman is satyam and ahankara is a mithya or jagat is mithya, whatever, ultimately. Well, he is a wise person. This is how it is. Anyway, so definitely there are two things is known only by wise person, ignorant person doesn't know. And so where is the question of a referring to the Satyamsha and where is question of a referring to Mithyamsha? That question would not arise at all for a ignorant person. Referring to Satyamsha and referring to Mithyamsha, that question itself does not arise because for him there are no two Amsha, no mixture at all. He sees as just one thing only. He sees the Mithya as a Satyam. That's the only thing. That reality belongs to something else, but he has transferred on this Mithya thing. And Mithya has become Satyam now. Clear? So this is how the problem occurs. So for an ignorant person, there is no question of referring to one of them, etc. So that he says now, that ignorant person, he uses a word for that ignorant person as Mudaha. Means he doesn't know that there are two things. So Tatra, see in the verse, Tatra means where this mixture is referred to. Well, Mudaihi, by confused people, and you can understand very well, very beautiful. See, when you say there are two things, then definitely mixing up, we should not say that two real things are mixed up. We should not say he is a confused person, really speaking, because can be mixed, right? But when there are not two real things, one is a mithya and one is satyam, and yet you take it mithya or a false thing as a satyam, we should say he is a confused person. So Mudaha means one who is a confused. And so basically this satyam and mithya cannot be mixed up, but he has managed to mix up this person. The reality of a consciousness is transferred to Chidabhasa, and limitation of Chidabhasa is transferred on this all-pervading Kutastha, etc. And well, he has done that mixture in his mind. That's Adhyasa. And that is how one sees oneself as a finite conscious being, which is referred by the word Aham. This is the first meaning of Aham. Mixture of Satyamithya. Then therefore mixture cannot take place. Mixture will be always between two. Mixture can really happen. Real mixture can happen between two things of a same order of a reality. You can mix water and sugar. Oh, it's possible. Possible. Here it is not possible because one is Satyam, one is Mithya, one is like, a boy in a waking state marries to a dream girl. How it is possible? How it is possible? Or a dream money, a jackpot of a $1 million, well, and by that I have become a millionaire in the waking state. How it is possible? It is not possible. In dream it is okay. It is very good. I am a millionaire, etc. That is fine. So this kind of a mixture cannot happen. No relation at all. Mixture means it ultimately mixing together, relating to each other, cannot happen. Therefore, it is adhyasa. This adhyasa is a beautiful thing. It's really a bread and butter of a Vedanta. This adhyasa. And many of the acharyas do not understand this adhyasa at all. So there is really not a mixture, as though they are mixed due to ignorance. Transference of attributes of one to the other. And that's how now there are no two things. If two things are there, you know them two, it is no more a mixture. I mean, it is there independent. But here, well, instead of a two, you are seeing one. Means definitely attributes of one is transferred on the other. Attributes of this is transferred on this. And that's how I am an individual. I am a finite conscious being. Proves adhyasa. A consciousness, well, belongs to Atma Kutastha, is transferred on the Chidabhasa, Ahamvritti, and the finitude of this Ahamvritti, definitely it is finite, is transferred on the Kutastha. And that's how now, after this, doing adhyasa of these attributes on each other, now I have got a new entity. So I am a finite conscious being, even though it is a really mixture of Satyam and Mithya, but he doesn't know. And so for him it is a one entity alone, and that is this Chidabhasa or Ahankara. That's how it is. And so we will see that. Anyway, this is a last part. So here Tatra means in this Mishra Chaitanya, in this mixture, Prayujyate, word aham is basically employed or used. Mishra Chaitanya is, this mixture is a primary meaning of the word aham, used by the ignorant person. And so I am a finite conscious being. Used by the ignorant person proves it is a mixture in which consciousness is transferred to this ahankara, and the finitude of the ahankara is transferred to the consciousness. So consciousness becomes as though limited, and ahankara, which is jadam, becomes conscious. And so we have this. This is a primary meaning of word aham, which is a mixture, not known as a mixture by ignorant person. He is using word aham for this, and this is the mukhyartha, because in world whoever is born uses word aham, he uses in this sense only. I am a finite individual conscious being. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.